Yeah.
It's a better name than T-Bar.
Here comes Toaster.
Not Toaster.
Oh, I fucking love a wrestler called Toaster.
But if you were a wrestler called Toaster, what would your finishing move be?
Sliced bread number 2, motherfucker.
Ah!
I'm good.
You've peaked.
On the fucking peaked.
Hey, guess what? It's time for Making Kayfabe with your hosts, Bryce and Dylan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite podcast on the internet. It's Making Kayfabe with your best friends, Dylan and Bryce. I'm Dylan, and this is Bryce. Say hello, Bryce.
Hello, Bryce.
Hey, that classic gag right there. That's the kind of fun humor you're going to get in this show. But not just that. There's more to the show than that, my friend. Going along with just making silly jokes, we also rewrite wrestling history. We go back and find silly storylines that we don't like, and we change them into something much more efficient, much more beneficial for the entire world. Wouldn't you agree?
It's almost like we make kayfabe here.
You could say that, you know. That would be a great name for a podcast.
Mate, I am very, very, very excited to hear what you got today. Like, for the listeners in the show, Dylan actually messaged me on like Wednesday or something, and he said something on the lines of like, "This is like right to censor level good." And if you haven't listened to the right to censor episode, then you know what the fuck are you doing here? Go back and listen to that, and then, well, I don't think it's going to lead on from right to censor. It may be in its own different, its own kind of entity, but yeah, like essentially what that means is that this story is going to be fucking hype, and yeah, I don't want to put you under any pressure, Dylan, but I'm expecting you to deliver our greatest episode yet.
Well, you know, it's my own fault for saying it was a right to censor level episode. You know, I put that pressure on myself.
You can't compare it to something like that. That is the creme de la creme.
It really is. Now, here's the thing: when I was writing the storyline, I got really into it, and I realized that I had to stop. Like, I had to stop. I could have written this storyline for days, but I had to find a cutoff point because I was just like, no, this happens, you know. So for everybody listening, I'm gonna reveal what the show is about. Although you probably figured it out by the thumbnail and the name of the show.
It's probably going to be titled Retribution, yeah. But I mean, what do you got for us today, Dylan?
It's Retribution.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So last week, Bryce did Otis and his Money in the Bank briefcase. And it was a recent storyline. We haven't really done too many recent storylines. Most of ours are kind of in the past. And I realized he kind of gave me a little bit of inspiration. And I was like, hey, you know what else is really annoying about wrestling right now? Is that I feel the WWE have dropped the ball big time with Retribution. I could book that shit better. But then I remembered, I'm on a show where I can just rewrite that shit. So yeah, I could do that.
It's like your job.
Not yet.
Maybe one day. But you say WWE dropped the ball with Retribution. Like, I don't think they ever had the ball to begin with. You get these guys and girls coming in. They're just dressed ridiculously. They've renamed them to stupid ass names like fucking T-Bar.
Bryce, what does T-Bar remind you of?
T-Bar actually reminds me of drinking tea in a bar, because that's his gimmick.
T-Bar. Hey, whoa, what about Slapjack?
Slapjack? Did he slap a guy called Jack?
And all the other ones.
And I don't even know. Mace is one, and like there's another one as well. But Retribution, it is definitely one of the worst storylines of the year, and I'm very excited to see what you can do here.
I guarantee you, I will turn it around and make it one of the best storylines of the year.
I cannot wait for Stevie Richards to be revealed as a leader.
Son of a bitch. Why you do this to me, man? You always guess. I guess it's my fault for always making it Stevie Richards.
Every episode. It's Taz episode. Stevie Richards is the manager. Fucking AEW Women's Division. Stevie Richards is the AEW Women's Champion. Like, yeah.
Hey, you all laughed, and then I laid it out, and you were like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. So,
you can fit Stevie Richards into any situation, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, because he's really small. Anyway, do you want to hear it? Should we do a show?
Yes, let's do the show.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory and Retribution first to start things off. To be honest with you, I don't think that their names and their look are that bad. I might be the only one who thinks this, but I think they just look like a bunch of street thugs, right? And they have these silly like street thug names, you know. And
Can
I'm
I go into my kind of like thinking with that is that everyone knows, or most people know who Donovan Dijakovic is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Mia Yim is.
Yeah.
And like you renamed them. It's so obviously them underneath these masks, and like I don't see the point in doing it. It's literally WWE just thinking it. Nobody watches NXT and nobody has a fucking clue who these guys are. But I mean, this is a product you promote. You get like 700,000 viewers a week or something for the shows, as per the ratings for the AEW versus NXT kind of Wednesday Night War. And like you're expecting people to not. I don't even know how to word it. Like, how can you rename these people and just pretend they're like a totally different character? And like you have like Donovan Dijakovic, like he's the whole thing is that they've not been looked after, and they're from the underground, and they've not been given a chance. And like, if I'm not, I don't know if I'm blowing apart your kind of your background here, but Dijakovic had like so many opportunities in NXT. Like he was fighting Keith Lee for the NXT title, and like he was on countless pay-per-views and stuff like that. And like it's just, I don't know, it's it bugged me big time. But yeah. I just wanted to get that out. I
mean, I get that. I can totally see how, because like, I know what Mia Yim looks like, and I know what Dominic Dijakovic looks like. So I get it when they come out, we're like, it's them. But again, like, I don't worry about that too much. I think if you just look at those guys, like they're a bunch of street thugs, I think it looks cool. Right? I don't care if I'm the only one who thinks that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebook them. So where were we? August 3rd, 2020. The lights begin to flicker on and off on Raw, and then some masked dudes blow up an electrical generator, which does nothing. Like the lights don't go off on Raw. It's just they blew up a fucking thing. Nice work, guys. And then that's who are these? Is that? Oh, okay. That's it. August 7th on SmackDown, some masked dudes come along with chainsaws and they wreck everything. You remember this? They like destroy the ring.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Actually, they came out and they like they sawed the ring and like they sawed the ropes and stuff. And yeah.
So
animals.
Oh yeah, but like after that, nothing happens. Like it looked cool, but then there's no follow up. Like they just kind of turn up for the next couple of weeks, and they're just kind of there, being mischievous.
I mean, can I just say as well, like that storyline, that angle you're talking about, where they come out and destroy the ring, has been done before. But it's
still cool though. You know what I mean? It's like the superplex by the Big Show off the top rope when the ring explodes. Like it's been done, but it's still pretty cool.
It's I don't know.
You know what I mean?
It's such a similar angle though. It's such a similar thing. Like just it's so Nexus. But go ahead.
But it still looks good, right? And it's a good way to get a heel group over.
I am very down Retribution. I'm counting you to change my mind here.
I'm gonna change your mind, my friend. Trust me with this. I'm sorry you have to go through these bad memories while I tell everybody about what happened with Retribution. SummerSlam happened August 23rd, 2020. Retribution, not on the show. So there you go. SummerSlam, one of the biggest shows of the year. No Retribution. Despite them clearly having made themselves known at the beginning of August. No, nowhere. That's fine. A week after SummerSlam, there was a pay-per-view called Payback, August 30th. And that makes sense, right? Payback. I can see where you're going now. Guys weren't at SummerSlam. Okay, Payback.
Payback sounds like one of their names.
Well, give them time. Anyway, they weren't on Payback either. So that's good. There's 2 pay-per-views right there, and your new group hasn't made it on either of them. Not so good. So now
that's bizarre. You'd almost think that Retribution and Payback are almost like similar terms, right?
Right. Like, what the hell, man? But nope, didn't even factor into the plans.
Nobody had their thesaurus that day.
Ugh. Those guys, huh? So 1st of September, Retribution are now exclusive to the Raw brand for some reason. I guess because they hate Raw, SmackDown.
Raw more.
They're just like, I fucking hate Raw. SmackDown's alright, but I'm not a big fan of Raw. So they're on Raw now, not on SmackDown. After they destroyed the ring in SmackDown, they're like, fuck it, we're done. We're going to stick on Raw. And then, what they do. Now, I do realize that sometimes COVID-19 has played a little factor into people not being on TV every week. I understand that, I'll give them a little bit of leeway, a little bit of benefit of the doubt for that. But it's still annoying that these people aren't on TV. Because that was like the 1st of September, they're now on Raw. Let's go to the 21st of September, which is like, 3 weeks away. They announced the names of the members of Retribution. So we've named some of them. You've got T-Bar, Mace, Slapjack, Retaliation, and Reckoning. So Dominic Dijakovic is T-Bar.
I forgot there were two names. Retaliation, Reckoning.
Yeah, so T-Bar is Dominic Dijakovic. Mace is Dio Madden. Slapjack is Shane Thorne. Mercedes Martinez is Retaliation. And Mia Yim was Reckoning. But as you know, Mercedes Martinez didn't stick around for too long. She's out of the group. So it's just those four. Okay?
Didn't hate Raw enough.
No, that's exactly it. She doesn't have that intense hatred for Raw. Yeah. And if you've ever seen Raw, I think you would also have a intense hatred of it.
I think Raw these days, I don't hate. I just nothing it.
You just don't care.
It's there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not what you want. You want it, even if it's bad, people are talking about it. Right?
That's it. You want John Cena, for example. People hated him, but you get a reaction.
Well, this is bad, and we're talking about this. So,
good point.
All right. So on that same episode of Raw, Retribution finally get the chance to show off their stuff and make a big impact. So they have a big 6-man tag team match. We got T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack against the Hurt Business, which is Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. An actually good stable. And obviously, in their first match, they lost. I mean, they lost by disqualification, but still,
it's a loss.
I can see a disqualification. That makes sense. Like that's I'm still on board. But again, we're like almost 2 months into this angle. Yeah. And this is the best thing that's happened to them. So Clash of Champions takes place September 27th. Clash of Champions, all the championships are on the line. All the gold, all the opportunities that some of the superstars have just been handed. You know what I mean? Doesn't that sound like the perfect place for Retribution to finally make their big fucking stand and get some retribution for themselves?
It sounds perfect. But what happened?
Retribution were not on the show.
What?
Yes. So now we're into October. This is October 5th.
Fuck all has happened. So
this started on like August 7th or whatever. So now we're on October 5th. And let's see what happened here. Mustafa Ali is in a match against MVP. When Retribution come out to the ring, Ali is like about to fight them with MVP, but then he joins Retribution, and it turns out he was the leader the entire time.
To be honest, to be totally fair, I like that. I like that kind of angle. I liked how Mustafa Ali is being announced as a leader. I like how at the end of the show, he had his hand held out and he closed his hand, and then that was the end of the show. Like that was really cool, and
yes.
It made sense as well because they did tie it into the kind of hacker gimmick and stuff. So that was good. That to me was a sign of hope for Retribution.
I agree. I liked it. It makes sense.
Mm.
So, which is one thing that the rest of this doesn't. So, October 19th, Retribution are in an 8-man tag team match against all of the Hurt Business, including MPB, and they lose. And then they all get beat up by Bray Wyatt. Also, in between this, the draft happens, and Retribution are drafted somehow to Raw because they have contracts.
Yeah, they're not contracted wrestlers.
So they're on Raw. SmackDown, you're still cool. Don't worry about it.
Why would you hire these guys? Why would you give these guys contracts?
I'll get to that.
Oh.
October 25th, WWE put on their Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Sounds pretty good. What do you think, Bryce? Were Retribution on the show?
I think Retribution have a featured role in this show.
Well, they were on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what happens is on the pre-show, Mustafa Ali puts out a open challenge to the Hurt Business. And MVP answers that and says Bobby Lashley will fight Slapjack. And he'll even put the United States Championship on the line. Sounds like big news, doesn't it?
Slapjack? What's he like, slapping a guy called Jack?
It's a callback to a previous joke we did earlier in the show.
10 minutes ago, yeah.
I hope you guys are entertained. We give this away for free. Can you believe that? All for the people. So, Slapjack versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. That sounds like a big opportunity, right?
Sounds like a great opportunity for him.
Sure does. They have like a match that goes like 7 minutes and Bobby Lashley beats him. And then Retribution run down to get some heat. And then immediately the Hurt Business come down as well and just run off Retribution. Nice. Good way to build up a stable right there. Honest to God, nothing else really happened. They've just kind of been there and disqualifications. And now Mia Yim looks like she's going after Asuka for the Women's Championship. I'm all for that.
Yeah, that would be a good match.
Yeah, hell yeah. But that's pretty much it for Retribution.
It draws parallels to what we covered last week in Otis. Something big happens, like Otis wins Money in the Bank, Retribution debut, and then a lot of nothing happens. WWE lose interest, and then it just kind of fades away. And like that happens so often. To be honest, like, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have a fucking show, because it wouldn't have episodes like Mordecai or Sean O'Hare or like half of the bloody things we've done. Probably most of the things we've done actually. So it is frustrating, but it makes great content for us. So
it really does. Yeah. Okay, so that was the history of Retribution. Now we're going to get on to the fun part, the bit where I rebook it. And want you to strap your socks on pretty tight, my friend, because I'm about to knock them off.
I'm very excited. I am very excited. Like I'm just go for it, because I want to hear this.
I think you're going to like it, man. We're going to kind of keep the beginning of the story. So they turn up in August and they're just kind of doing weird stuff like random havoc. They're keeping people on their toes. They're just kind of, their presence is known. Okay. You know what I mean? But I would keep it a little bit more consistent. I think at the beginning, like, they didn't do enough to really make these guys seem like they blowing up the electrical fucking generator. Like, if that doesn't do anything, there's no consequences of that happening, then why do it? Right?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. They do all these things and then nothing happens from it. Like, what happened after they destroyed the ring in SmackDown? Like, fuck off. So.
Right, because they did it at the end of the show, so they can just be like, all right, well, no harm done, we'll get a new ring.
The ring's back next week and it's fine, yeah.
Right, fucking, nothing happened. So we're going to kind of keep that old stuff, but like do a little bit more and keep the pressure on. So after a couple of weeks, it's quite clear that they're like a big group and they're going to cause some trouble, So then on the Raw before SummerSlam, they kind of explain all this in a pre-tape segment. So this is the first time we kind of see them and they're all wearing their masks. So they're not on the show and they say, everybody can rest easy. We're not on the show. We're not going to get you. We're not going to get you because we're at an undisclosed location. All right, we're somewhere else.
Parts unknown.
So they're not on Raw tonight because they're making plans for SummerSlam and they don't want anybody to interrupt those plans. Understand? They're going to come for everybody on Sunday, and that's that.
Everybody.
So now people are aware of Retribution. They've seen their face, well, not their faces, but they've seen who they are, with their masks. They look tough. They've heard what they had to say. They're coming in, they're wrecking stuff. They've obviously got a chip on their shoulder about something. Now they've said they're going to do something at SummerSlam. What are they going to do? What is it? So nobody's really sure. The WWE, just to make sure, they hire so many security guards. Like, that place is crawling with security guards all over the backstage area, everywhere. So security guards everywhere. Everybody's kind of on their toes. They're not sure what's going on. But SummerSlam pretty much goes off without a hitch. Retribution don't appear. The only thing that happens is that the lights dim briefly during the Randy Orton Drew McIntyre match.
Oh.
But everybody's like, well, that's just like an electrical problem, I mean, those fuckers blew up a generator a couple of weeks ago. That's probably what did that. It was a generator 2 weeks ago.
So it's a generator, it's fine. Well, the generator 2 weeks ago affected this week, yeah, totally.
It didn't generate enough power. Simple mathematics,
Science.
The next night on Raw, like, the security are still there because, WWE ain't stupid. But they're still pretty much like, all right, I feel like we've... Well, okay. Yeah, okay.
Why are we here, Dylan?
Yeah, all right. Well, you know what I mean. There was no big attack on SummerSlam, so they might do something Raw. So there's still security there. Payback is scheduled for the next Sunday, right after SummerSlam. So there's a match going on in the ring. Let's say it's Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. And then suddenly the camera cuts to another pre-taped segment from Retribution. So they interrupt the match, and it's all on the big screen. And they say that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your security. It doesn't matter about WWE. It doesn't matter about the match. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. Fuck it. It's all about Retribution. So now Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, their attention is on the big screen, right? from this pre-tape, we have a couple of big reveals. First of all, they reveal their leader. The leader.
I'm keeping that in.
It's Lita.
The real Lita.
She does like a hurricane run off a dive board or something, you know.
They
reveal their leader is Mustafa Ali. So he kind of like turns up. I like this kind of reveal better. And I'll explain that. You remember the way he did kind of reveal himself to be the leader, the MVP thing.
Turned on the MVP,
Yeah, just bear that in mind. But it'll come up later. But at the moment, he just kind of like in this backstage pre-tape segment, he turns up in front of Retribution. He goes, "It was me. I'm the leader. I'm the mastermind." He tells the world that Retribution was born from the ashes of WWE dreams. People sign contracts hoping to one day headline WrestleMania, or just to go out and wrestle. That's all they want to do. They just want to wrestle. But instead of that, the WWE signs up people with no intention of letting them wrestle. They want to keep them away from the competition. They're shackling them to big contracts, and they're just making them sit at home. They're not using the people of Retribution, including Ali. Well, now Retribution are the competition. What you've done is you've just shackled the competition into your company, and they're not happy about it. They're the ones in control, not the WWE. So also at the same time, Ali is revealed as the mysterious SmackDown hacker. So he's pretty much confirms it. He's like, "Yep, that was me. Just more of my way to get my message across." It shows that we are more in control than the WWE thinks. We already hacked the entire company weeks ago, and you couldn't figure out who did it. And then Retribution come in, and you couldn't figure out who these guys are. And it's all because of how smart Ali is.
Yeah.
So the lights flickering at SummerSlam, that's Retribution. Because they have people on the inside. You get it? It's not just the five of them. There's men on the inside. It's your security guys. It's your cameramen. It's the guys setting up the ring. It's the guys at catering. They all look the same. You don't know which one's working for Retribution.
They're all wearing masks.
Yeah, but that's it.
They're all wearing their fucking masks, like it's in catering and like in the fucking audio room. Like, who could it be? Like, which one of you guys works for Retribution?
I think it's Carl. He started wearing a mask.
I think it's fucking like I don't know, like coffee breath or something, whatever they're gonna call them. Like
coffee breath. Yeah, it's the shit they see in their house.
Is that? I don't know. I got coffee and then yeah. It's a better name than T-Bar.
Here comes Toaster.
Not Toaster.
Oh, I fucking love a wrestler called Toaster.
But if you were a wrestler called Toaster, what would your finishing move be?
Sliced bread number 2, motherfucker.
Oh!
I'm good.
You've peaked.
On the fucking without peaked. I haven't even finished.
That's been Making Kayfabe, everybody. Like, hope you enjoyed it.
It's the end of the show. Oh, that was good, man. Okay.
Aren't you telling a story about Retribution?
Yeah. Fuck. Sorry. I was talking about folks. So yeah, the people who like work in the company, it's not just the wrestlers. Obviously, these wrestlers are pissed off with the way they're treated, but this is a big corporation that doesn't treat any of their workers properly. Healthcare doesn't go to any of these people, does it? Or like bonuses or any of the profits that the big cats in the WWE make. The cameramen getting them, or the catering guys getting them, the video editors who work their fucking asses off, are they getting it? Or the line managers, or any of this stuff. It's very easy to sway them into Retribution's cause because WWE, being such a big entity, has no problem with burning what they consider to be the bridges of the little people. But now the little people are rising up, and you don't even know who they are. How about that? It's pretty big. So you got to remember, Retribution control everything.
So Retribution, like they have people like working as camera operators. They have people in like the studio. They have people like backstage and all that. So we have people backstage and kind of like bit workers who are members of Retribution, basically.
Yeah. So and you don't know who they are. That's the beauty of it.
Cool.
Another thing, we got the contracts, right? People were wondering about the contracts. How can these guys turn up? Well, you remember, like I said, WWE already locked these guys into contracts. They already made these 2-3 year deals. Keep them away from the competition. They're already contracted. WWE didn't offer them new contracts. These are people who are pissed off at the system and are already contracted.
That makes complete sense. Like, that is so simple as well. Like, why didn't they just say that?
Right.
why aren't they saying that? That makes complete sense because they are developmental talents. So obviously they already have, contracts.
It's a problem you mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's a problem you mentioned earlier. They're trying to pretend that they're Dominik Dijakovic and T-Bar are two different people.
Yeah.
When they're not. It's the same guy, and he's pissed off at the way he's been used.
Yeah, pissed off at getting the name T-Bar. Like, what's that? Is he drinking like tea in a bar or something? Like, what's that?
What if he was drinking tea at a bar with a guy called Jack?
Who slaps people?
He slaps him.
And then that Jack guy slaps, let me tell you. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm liking where this is going.
Okay, so that's the end of that little pre-tape segment. The camera cuts off in the middle of the ring. So we've got Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. They're still in the middle of the ring. They're like, what the fuck was any of that, right? So they're like walking around, and like the cameramen are like getting, and they get up into the ring to like get a closer look.
Yeah.
And one of the cameramen gets a little bit too close. He smashes Rey Mysterio over the head with the camera, and then he hits Seth as well. So the Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio land on the ground. This guy has his camera. He throws it to the canvas too. He rips his shirt off to reveal like a homemade Retribution shirt. Whoa. You know what I mean? Like he made it himself. It's not some kind of corporate bullshit where they can make money off his good name. No, the people of Retribution, it's like a grassroots organization. You know what I mean?
So was it written on in like Sharpie or something?
Yeah, kind of. So that everybody has their own T-shirts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. That's part of their identity too. You make your own T-shirt, and whatever it is, that's who you are. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Because it's about the people who feel pissed off and they express themselves with their shirts.
Yeah. So there's no marketing or any shit here. Like it's all personal.
Exactly. You can't make money off this name because the point of this is to rebel against everything the WWE stands for, which is making money off their good names.
Right.
So this cameraman, throws the camera down and he reveals his shirt. He puts up a fist the way Mustafa Ali did. He opens his fist and closes it. He's like, "Yeah, I stand with Retribution." So the security guys obviously come and get him and bring him away. But he's like, he feels great because he fired a shot for Retribution. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's further proof that they could be anywhere. So now, Payback is on Sunday. Raw is over. SmackDown's on Friday. Once again, security stacked the Raptors. And once again, a Retribution promo interrupts a match that's going on in the ring. Let's say it's the New Day versus the John Morrison and The Miz. One of my favorites and one of my least favorites.
Yeah, you love
John Morrison.
Is my favorite. John Morrison.
No. Nobody hates John Morrison. He's lovable. Right?
I actually don't like John Morrison that much.
Get out of my house.
I'm not in your house.
Well, get into my house and then I'll tell you get out of my house. Is that fair?
Yes.
Doesn't like John Morrison. What the? Why I gotta. Anyway, doesn't
rascal.
matter. A bunch of pricks are in the ring, right? So a new video from a new video from Retribution comes up on the big Tron. It gets everybody's attention. So they all kind of take a look because they saw what happened to Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, So Ali tells him the Payback is in 2 days, and there's no group that wants Payback more than Retribution do. Who wants to fight them? They're going to have an open challenge. One of their guys versus one of the WWE guys. Doesn't matter if it's Raw or SmackDown. Whoever's not doing anything, who wants a match? It's an open challenge. Back to SmackDown and the match that was happening. The two teams, they try to start things up again. But as soon as they get back in the swing of things, the fire alarm goes off. So everybody has to evacuate the building. This is live on TV. The fire alarm goes off. They have to cut the commercial, but they have to evacuate that building. So eventually SmackDown comes back. They bring everybody back in. Turns out it was a false alarm. There's no fire. And they start to try to keep the show going, but the lights start to flicker on and off a couple of times during the main event to let everybody know that Retribution are still in control. They're the ones pulling the strings. Baron Corbin is sick of all the shenanigans, so he's the one that answers their open challenge because he thinks he's the king of SmackDown. He's the king of something, right? He was the king of the ring.
King Corbin,
yeah. So they have a match against Mace, and near the end of the match, the lights go off completely, including the Thunderdome screens. Everything's dark. Everything's black. Nice. And when the lights come back on, Slapjack, good old Slapjack. Remember Slapjack?
What's with that name? Is he a guy called Jack who slapped? Nah, I'm gonna stop doing that.
Well, close enough. He's actually choking Baron Corbin with like piano wire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Right. Looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So Mace kind of chases off the referee, and these two guys just start beating the fuck out of Baron Corbin. Match is called off by disqualification, but Mace and Slapjack don't care because that's not the point, is it? They're just really pissed off. So they beat up Baron Corbin, and some of the guys to SmackDown try to run out and beat up the Retribution guys, but they manage to slip away because of their friends on the inside. So on the WWE Twitter page, there's a video posted from Retribution because remember they can get in anywhere.
Right.
The video says that they're going to try again on Raw. Their open challenge once again. So anybody who wants a piece of Slapjack, who's on Raw, come on down. They say that they took down Baron Corbin because there's the guy who's been given every single opportunity in the world.
Yeah.
He's fucked it all up, squandered it, didn't do anything with any of it. What a waste. He
was literally king.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with him.
He fucked that up.
Right, like it's the easiest gimmick in the world.
The very successful king gimmick, because King Booker, King Barrett, King Lawler,
Owen Hart,
Owen King, yeah, like Viscera. He was.
Oh yeah, I know he was.
Was he a good king? Though? Kurt Angle, yeah, exactly.
Went to Viscera over Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference?
What's the difference? Same guy.
About 300 pounds, I think, is the difference.
Right.
Thank you. We're on form today, aren't we?
Cracking all the jokes.
Hells yeah. All right.
You're getting your money worth today, folks.
Which is 0. So we've got an open challenge on Raw, and Retribution are ready to go. I think they're going to have Slapjack come out. So whoever wants a piece of Slapjack, come on out. So MVP answers this call-out video, and he suggests Bobby Lashley. This bit is the same as what happened in real life, only instead of it happening 3 months later, it's happening like right after Payback. So I like that angle, but so I'm kind of keeping it, but I'm just moving it forward.
And that's again what we do in Making Kayfabe. We try to keep it as close to real life as possible as well. So it's good that you're including that part.
Yeah, we try to make it all make sense,
Yeah.
So we're going to have this match on Raw for the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley comes out. He looks pretty ready to go. Slapjack kind of saunters out, and the referee kind of pats him down, makes sure he's not got any illegal weapons on him. And then the bell rings, and Slapjack immediately headbutts Bobby Lashley in the head, busts him open, knocks him out, because his mask is gimmicked, right? Oh, the masks are stupid, are they? No, he's just knocked out the United States champion. So the referee is like, what the fuck? Like, it's legal to wear a mask, but obviously he's gimmicked the mask right. Somehow. So he's like, oh, fuck. So he rings the bell. Instant disqualification. Match doesn't even happen. Straight away disqualification because they don't care. They knocked out Bobby Lashley. One shot. What do you think of that? Doesn't that make a hell of an impact? So the other members... Yeah, right? It's just simple. So the other members of the Hurt Business, they storm the ring, but Slapjack, he manages to slip away, and the lights turn off. So when they turn back on, Slapjack is completely gone. Hurt Business are in the middle of the ring. They're pissed off. Lashley's knocked out. And then the sprinklers start going off. So these guys are now covered in water, and they're pissed off as hell. So on SmackDown, Ali interrupts the feed once again to tell everybody that they are in control of everything. The WWE Twitter page has become very pro-Retribution, and he wants to commend them for their good work. He tells Roman Reigns that he doesn't have to just worry about his family and the Usos. He has to worry about his family in wrestling, because you don't know who else is in Retribution. They could be coming for Roman Reigns. They could come for the Usos. They could come for... Roman Reigns would be the perfect target, wouldn't it? A guy who's been given so many opportunities. He's back now and he's kicking ass, but he's had a lot of opportunities when other people didn't, including Ali. So he's telling people to watch your back, because you never know. So more of this kind of stuff happens. They're still making their themselves known. They're kind of having sneak matches, disqualifications. They're running in and out of the entire company, basically. You know what I mean? Nobody can catch him.
Causing havoc.
Exactly. But like fucking meaningful havoc, fun shit. Just kind of like they're toying with the WWE. You know what I mean? They're like pulling the strings. They're like, look what we can do, and you can't catch us. All right. Eventually, Clash of Champions takes place at the end of September. Retribution aren't booked on the show, but they didn't even try to book themselves. You know what I mean? They're just like, all right, if you guys want to have your self-indulgent Clash of Champions, that's fine. So the show kind of goes off as planned. The security is through the roof. You know what I mean? Like way more than at SummerSlam. These guys, now the WWE has seen Retribution coming in and out. They're like, right, we need security like fucking up to the rafters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through the roof. So everything happens that happens on Clash of Champions. It's all fine. The show is about to go off the air when the lights start to flicker. Ooh. And this is the moment when every screen in that entire building, the Thunderdome, the Titantron, everything, has Ali's face on it. As he looks down at whoever's in the ring. Doesn't matter. Let's say Usos and Roman Reigns. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess that ties into what he said earlier, so let's go with that. And he tells them that this is the end game now. Nobody can touch Retribution. Literally. So the security guards that are outside are like, what the fuck does that mean? They they line up. They're like, all right, here we go. They're getting ready for some kind of attack. But then, just then, the head of security, who's outside with them, he turns around towards the building and gestures to some of his other guys to go towards the building as he unbuttons the shirt to reveal a homemade Retribution shirt underneath. So the security guards, part of Retribution, they lock all the wrestlers in the building. They're locked in the Thunderdome, which is like a sports stadium or something. I don't fucking know. So the next night, on Monday, Mustafa Ali is standing in the middle of the WWE Performance Center, and he welcomes everybody to Monday Night Raw is Retribution. The part of the Thunderdome has been cut, so they can't broadcast from in there. WWE can't broadcast from inside the Thunderdome. They're all just locked in there.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, Retribution. I know the WWE have been moving their stuff out of the Performance Center, like their cameras and stuff, for Thunderdome business. Retribution have been moving all that stuff back in. They've been secretly sneaking around, taking electrical wire and cameras and rings and everything they need to have their own show. Everything is now in the Performance Center. So Retribution are going to wrestle. They're going to give themselves the opportunities that they didn't get before. The WWE is dead and gone, and Retribution, they rule the roost now. Clash of Champions was the final straw, and another example of the WWE rubbing their noses in it, just showing off their champions and their challenges, none of whom are Retribution, that they're aware of. So that whole night, it's Retribution. Raw is Retribution. So they do their own matches. Remember the way the NWO kind of used to do that? They would like show like them in a gym beating up some fucking jobbers, that kind of shit. So that kind of thing starts to happen. The other guys from the Performance Center are their opponents. So like now they might be green, but they're finally getting a little bit of exposure too. So there you go. Retribution are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. Near the end of the show, it's got loads of like comedy spots and like, not the matches, but like, the way like the NWO, they would goof around backstage because they ran the whole bit, the company, you know what I mean? They can do what they want. That's what Retribution are doing. They're having a good time with them. So near the end of Raw is Retribution, some of the WWE guys, they start to storm the building. They got out of the Thunderdome. They're now coming at the Performance Center. They've seen the show live on TV and they're like, what the fuck? So the show goes off the air with a siege. Retribution locked themselves inside the building and the WWE are trying to get in there.
Oh, wow.
With this. So the WWE Twitter page updates everybody with how the siege is going throughout the week. They're being very pro-revolution, as you'd imagine. But the other superstars in WWE use their own Twitter pages to say, no, that's fake news. That's not the way it is. Retribution aren't winning. We're winning. But the official Twitter page is pro-Retribution.
All right.
So nobody knows what's going on. So on Thursday, we're just in time for SmackDown. The siege kind of comes to a head. So Retribution decide that they will let the WWE into the ring or into the building, so long as Retribution have a safe passage out of the building. The WWE agree, but obviously they're not going to do that. So SmackDown starts with everybody getting back into the building. So we're live on Friday nights, and wrestlers are going back into the building. Some of them still have their gear on, I guess. So, why not? Just go into the ring, have a match. But at the same time, there's like a secret group of like a couple of Raw guys who aren't being used on the show, who are being sent around the building, around the Performance Center, to look for Retribution, because they're not letting those fuckers go. So we have a little team, and they kind of split off. Cameras are following these guys, because that's the WWE. Cameras follow everybody. So we have Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. There's a guy from Raw and a guy from SmackDown. And they are in a team. They find Ali, and he's hidden in like a control room. He's about to escape, but he finds himself cornered by Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's about to attack Ali when he notices that Samoa Joe is like wearing a weird shirt. Samoa Joe unbuttons his shirt to reveal a homemade Retribution shirt, and he beats the fuck out of Jeff Hardy and he lets Ali escape the building.
Amazing.
Right.
So they're starting to recruit actual wrestlers now. They're starting to recruit like big time superstars.
See this? See what I'm saying? Retribution's everywhere.
Amazing.
So Ali gets away. Next week on Raw, Samoa Joe, of course, is a commentator on Raw. So on Raw, he comes out, sits at a commentary desk, and he talks about how great Retribution are. And he dares anybody to come and try to make a move on him because he's Samoa Joe. Who's going to come at Samoa Joe? Everybody hates Retribution, but they can't find half of the guys. Samoa Joe, he's right there in plain sight. He's like, come and get me.
Hi.
What are you going to do? He joined Retribution because he agrees with them. He's a guy that didn't get any, proper shots either. You look at the other guys like Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. Look where they were in NXT, and then look what they became after that. You look at Samoa Joe, one of the most dominant NXT champions, and when he came up to the main roster, what did he get? He has to sit behind a desk. Right.
Yeah.
He's pissed about that. So maybe Retribution have the right idea. What are they going to do? Fire Samoa Joe? I don't think so. Because you know what Samoa Joe is going to do? He's going to go somewhere else and make them money. You can't fire Samoa Joe. What are you going to do about it? They figure that the WWE figure out that they're going to have to fix this problem by the time Survivor Series comes along. They want Retribution to put up their best 5 guys against the WWE's best 5 guys. Ali interrupts another video feed, and he wonders what the WWE mean by that. Retribution could certainly put up 5 people to fight, no problem. There's no issue there. But how are Raw and SmackDown going to come together to figure out a way to team up to fight Retribution? I mean, they're already going to have a Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series team, right? They always do that. They pit the brands against each other. How are the brands going to work together to fight Retribution? The WWE has hired all these wrestlers. He's put them on separate brands to try and get them angry at each other because making them seem like they're the competition, trying to make them pick a side, Raw over SmackDown or SmackDown over Raw. But it's the one company is trying to fight itself for some reason. And then it is suddenly surprised whenever some of its employees actually fight back. That doesn't make any sense. Ali says that they will be at Survivor Series, and he knows that the WWE will be at Survivor Series, obviously. But will the WWE be interested in fighting Retribution, or themselves? They're hiding in plain sight. Samoa Joe's right there. You know what I mean? Who is to say a member of Retribution isn't already on the WWE's team that they're going to assemble to fight Retribution? Ali has planted a lot of doubt in people's heads, and Raw goes up the air. Samoa Joe is crowing about how great Retribution are and how good Mustafa Ali is. So WWE guys, they can see his point. Now they're all looking over their shoulders. They're wondering, who else is part of Retribution. It's like a real civil war. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So Ali, Slapjack, Mias, T-Bar, and Samoa Joe, they all, that's the team for Survivor Series. Reckoning, I decided to keep her fighting Asuka because I think it's a really good match. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
That will be a good match, yeah. They're both very good wrestlers. So.
They are great. They're really good. In contrast to Retribution, who seem like they've got all their ducks in a row, like they know what they're doing. The WWE seems very disjointed. They don't know who to trust. They don't know what the heck to happen. So they find it hard to, build a team to fight the Retribution. So Survivor Series happens. You can kind of figure out what's going to happen here. You got your top guys. You've got Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre against your boys in Retribution. Big stakes, right? The WWE said, here's the deal. If Retribution lose, they're out of here. They have to disband, right? Retribution says, those rules don't apply to us. No. You can say that, but that doesn't mean we're going to do it, right? Like I said, we're everywhere. We're inside the WWE. Nobody can touch us. It doesn't really matter who wins and loses because Retribution are going to win anyway. Yeah. And then on Survivor Series, guess what happens?
My guess is that you're going to get one of the members of the WWE team to turn on WWE.
Correct. And that man is Drew McIntyre.
I knew it was Drew McIntyre. Brilliant.
A man who only this year, 2020, is getting the dues that he deserves, and he feels
he got fired.
Right. He was proclaimed. What did Vince McMahon say he was?
Chosen one, and
then they fired him. He worked his butt off to get back to where he was, and it still took him 3 years to win the championship. He's annoyed. He has to take whatever opportunity he can get, and he knows Retribution feel the same. So now he's one of their big hitters too. And Survivor Series go off the air with the WWE feeling pretty stupid. And that's it. That's where I drew the line. I figure by this point, you've got a couple of months of build. Retribution look like stars, right? But what the important thing is, it's not the individuals that look like stars. It's the group, right? Because they've had only a couple of matches, and most of those matches have ended with like disqualifications or some kind of shenanigans, right? But that's not the point. The point is, as a unit, as a group, they're untouchable. And that gets across perfectly in this storyline. You know, they're everywhere. And people are joining them left and right because they see what Retribution can do and can see what Retribution can do for them. The stable itself becomes intriguing. And from here, you can go right to WrestleMania if you wanted to. You know, there's plenty of stuff you can do. But that's it. That's how you do the first, 3 or 4 months of Retribution instead of the piss that we got in real life.
Whoa, hold on. Where's Stevie Richards?
Oh, he's at home.
Ah, okay. No, in all seriousness, man, like that was really good. I loved that. Like, there's so many things that kind of stood out in your story there that I just was such a big fan of. Like, I mean, even the smallest things, like making their actions have consequences. So all these things they're doing have consequences and mean something. So it's not just like we said at the start. You know, it's not just breaking the ring one week and then that it's never mentioned again kind of thing. You know, and like there's one line that I actually wrote down at the start because I liked it so much, but you said that Retribution are born from the ashes of dreams, which was I love that line because it's all these developmental talent, these people who haven't been used very well, and their dreams have been burned down because WWE just haven't used them well. But yeah, I love that you have Retribution are everywhere, literally. Like they've got the camera operators, they've got like audio engineers, they've got like the social media managers, and like the homemade T-shirt I thought was really cool as well because you got them like it's very much anti-business, it's very much anti-marketing, like Rage Against the Machine kind of thing. Like if you want to join Retribution, you can. There's no rules to get in. Like you just have to have a burning hatred for like the man, that kind of thing, and like
exactly.
But like the things you've done with like the fire alarm and like sprinklers, like there's no better time to do that than now because there's no fans in the building. Like obviously if you had fire alarm,
right?
like you'd have to get out the fans out, which would probably be some kind of a fire hazard. But there's no fans, so you can take advantage of that. And similarly, like you put in like Ali's face on the screens of the Performance Center, the Thunderdome, fucking brilliant. Like that should have been done. I love that. Having them, you got them have their own show, like after the WWE superstars in the building, and then like the siege and taking over the official Twitter and stuff, and like that. Samoa Joe reveal was great, and like Drew, I knew it was going to be Drew. Like, as soon as you mentioned Drew McIntyre, I was like, who would make most sense to join Retribution at this point? And it's the guy who was fired, who was given everything and then fired, forced to play in a fucking 3-man band or whatever, and made a fool of. And now he's only coming back and he's finally got his chance kind of thing. But it made so much sense for him to be in Retribution. And like, you could go in so many different directions from here. And I'm almost saddened that you left it there because I want to hear more. I genuinely do want to hear like a part 2 of Retribution, which, there's so many things that could happen. Like you got the Royal Rumble after this. Like, what if Retribution, have more stakes in the Royal Rumble? What if it turns out, you get the final 4 in the Royal Rumble and like 3 of them are Retribution, but nobody knows that yet. They just turn on whoever the one is, kind of thing. And oh man, there's so many different directions you could go in with this, and like right. That is how you book Retribution. That is how you make it make sense. You don't have them fucking lose to Bobby Lashley and become meaningless within a couple of weeks. And no, that was very good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like you could see how like I would be tempted to keep writing, but the show has to end at some point. Like I had to find a cutoff point. Exactly. Survivor Series seemed like the most logical place to have a cutoff point. Also considering that at the time of recording, we haven't seen what the WWE have been planning for Survivor Series, and I guarantee you, it's not going to be this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'd be interesting if it was, but yeah, like. I mean, no, that's
sure as fuck won't be.
No chance in hell. But no, that's it's also good that you left it there, because then, like, you guys at home, you can make up your own story after this, like make up your own where the Retribution go, like what happens kind of thing, and like maybe let us know as well, like maybe where would you take it after this? Like just tweet us at Making Kayfabe.
Also, like, if you because like you said, I could write this for a long time. So like, if you want to hear part 2, Bryce wants to hear part 2. If you guys want to hear part 2, let us know. Leave us comments, and I might finish it up.
Do I have your word on that? If we get enough Twitter response, you'll do part 2.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. All right, come on, guys, get tweeting us. We've got to hear this.
68,000 tweets.
68,000 tweets, mate. I could do that in my sleep. Just create 68,000 accounts and like.
Right, it can't just be you though. It needs to be the actual fans.
We can find 68,000.
Well, I think so. It'll be really good if the 68,000 people give us suggestions for our favorite part of the show, Kayfabe Tombola.
Oh, what a segue!
Thank you. You want to play some Kayfabe Tombola?
Let's play some Kayfabe Tombola.
I think that's a great idea. So let me explain to everybody what Kayfabe Tombola is. I'm going to have a list of wrestlers from 1 to 4 and a list of scenarios from A to D. Bryce is going to pick a letter and a number, and I'm going to tell him what they are. He's going to have 1 minute to try to come up with a storyline with that wrestler and that scenario. Makes sense, right?
Makes complete sense. And like, I just want to say, like, I hope to God you've got some reasonable, decent fucking suggestions for storylines here, because if I hear anybody of the ilk of like Sean Stasiak or the fucking Mountie, don't give me that
What if it's just all Sean Stasiak and the Mountie?
That's just the 2 choices.
Yeah,
that's storylines as well. Just Sean Stasiak and the Mountie. Like,
yeah,
choose the story.
So the wrestler is Sean Stasiak, and the scenario is Sean Stasiak. You have 1 minute.
Like, what the? So Sean Stasiak's chiropractor, and like, all right, fuck it. Like, give me one D.
1D.
1D.
Oh man. Oh, this is so close to being what I wanted. So the wrestlers you could have picked Viscera.
Okay.
Missed him. You could have had Molly Holly.
Oh, Molly Holly. Okay.
No, sorry. And you missed out the one that I was begging you to pick. I think you already know who it is. Reno.
Ah, Reno, my favorite.
You dodged a bullet on Reno. You dodged a bullet on Reno by a sliver. Oh, you're so close.
Sorry, it's a haircut guy. Like, yeah.
But take a wild guess. Given some of your commentary in today's show, take a wild guess at who you managed to pick.
Is it Stevie Richards?
It is Stevie Richards.
Oh my god!
I told you he'd come back.
Amazing.
So the scenarios that you could have had are you could have had him falling in love with Vince McMahon.
Okay.
Which I really wanted you to get with Reno. Oh. You could have had he comes up with their own signature weapon. Like Triple H has a sledgehammer.
Okay.
This guy's gonna have his own signature weapon that makes sense. You could have had is involved with a scandal that involves the WWE somehow.
Okay.
You're well familiar with scandals, so I don't have to tell you about that.
I'm a scandalous person.
You're Mr. Scandal.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you picked a rips Rey Mysterio's eye out.
What?
Hey, that happened.
Stephen Richards does this.
So you're gonna have 1 minute to logically explain why Stevie Richards would rip Rey Mysterio's eye out. Are you ready, Bryce? That's a yes if I've ever heard one.
Oh my god. Okay, yep, go for it. Like, let's see what I can bullshit here.
I'm gonna count you down from 3. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so Stevie Richards is the head of the right to censor, and the thing they don't like seeing is other people censoring things, and because Rey Mysterio wears a mask, he's technically censoring his face. So, like, Stevie Richards' plan is that there's only one right to censor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take Rey Mysterio's mask off and unmask him, which is the ultimate heel thing to do because you never unmask a luchador. So it ends up Stevie Richards and the right right to censor versus Rey Mysterio in some kind of, I don't know, match. Which ends up in Rey Mysterio losing, and Steven Richards, he tries to tear his mask off, but accidentally he takes Rey's eye out just by doing it. He sticks his fingers in, like, oh shit, I totally didn't mean to do that, man, I'm so sorry. All I wanted was your mask. And Rey Mysterio is sitting there with one eye, and he's like, what the fuck, dude?
That's it, you did it. That's a minute.
That is such bullshit.
I liked Stevie Richards going, oh, dude, I didn't mean to. like he's got his eye, like he's holding fucking Rey Mysterio's eye, like, oh, I'm sorry, is this yours? Shit, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know you needed that.
You got another one.
There you go. You did that pretty well.
Yeah, it's not one of my best, but I'll take it.
Well, let's be fair here. It's incredibly hard to logically make ripping Rey Mysterio's eye out make any sense.
Yeah, especially when it's Steve Richards. It's not been in the WWE in 20 years. You forgot that part.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, you were the one who was supposed to make it make sense.
Yeah, true. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, there you go. Stevie Richards finally getting the recognition he deserves.
About time.
Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you liked it, if you want to send us some suggestions for Kayfabe Tambolas, or if you want to just kind of chat with us about wrestling, feel free to send us an email at makingkayfabe@gmail.com, or, check us out on Twitter at makingkayfabe. Send us some more suggestions through there as well. Our Twitter page is always pretty busy, lots of stuff going on, polls going up all the time, so there's lots of fun things to do. We love hearing from you guys. Also, if it's okay with you guys, if you're listening to this on like a podcast kind of network, if you could give us, a couple of 5-star reviews, that would be really nice. That kind of stuff really helps us like get noticed and get better and grow, and that's what we want to do. We want to keep making our show the best we can for you guys. So it takes like 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, it takes 30 seconds.
Yeah,
and we really appreciate it. But that's enough plugging for now. So anyway, we want to say thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say, Bryce?
Yeah, I just want to say, do tweet us, do get in touch. We love hearing feedback in the show, and we love hearing what you guys think as well. And also, if you want to hear part 2 of fucking Retribution, tweet. Let us know, because I'm holding down to the 68,000 reply thing. If we can get 6 replies, I'm pretty sure I can convince him to do the rest. So, if you round up to the nearest 68,000, that'll be all right. So.
That's often how I do maths, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's close enough. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the show, you want to hear more, Retribution, tweet us. There's episodes in the back catalogue as well. We've got this is our 16th episode, so we've got ones on CM Punk, Summer of Punk. We've got Sean O'Hare, Taz, Mordecai, Right to Censor. Stevie Richards, your man, Otis last week, and loads more coming up. We're coming towards the end of season 3 now. It's coming towards the end of season 2 now, but season 3 won't be long after. We've got some pretty fun stuff planned for the kind of interim period between season 2 and 3. But let us know what you think, guys, and thank you for listening. It's you genuinely make our day, just with the feedback you give us. It means a lot to us, guys, and it's so cool to do this because we enjoy doing it, and we have people out there who actually enjoy listening to it, which is insane to us. But thanks, guys. It means a lot that we've got your support.
Yeah, dude, we really appreciate it. You guys are the best, and we're also the best. So collectively, we're all the best. Can agree with that. So yeah, dudes, thanks for listening to the show. We really appreciate it. We're gonna call it a day for this one, but we will be back next week with another incredible Making Kayfabe episode. So make sure you stick around, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.
Sayonara.